Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria Info.
We're pleased to take your comments on Facebook and on YouTube, okay? On Facebook is at Nigeria Info Abuja. You find our page there at Nigeria Info Abuja. And YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja would also do fine. So come on board and drop your comment as we stream through this. Do remember the stories I'm about to read out for you, the headlines and the body of the story, in some instance, have been published under the editorial guide of various publishers, and we on Nigeria Info are only informing you of the headlines as we have them for today.
This is Morning Crossfire.
Today is the 1st of August 2023. With that, I can confidently say to you, Happy New Month, and may this new month bring us joy, bring us ease, bring us open doors and the delight. Let's go through the papers as we have them this very day. From This Day newspaper, Punch, the Independent newspaper, Daily Trust, and not missing out on The Guardian. Starting off with the likes of This Day for today. Labour insists on nationwide protests from tomorrow. Tinubu Bin Mom's state of economy says after darkness comes glorious dawn. Lagos reduces BRT buses fare by 50%. FRC delegates supervision of auditing firms to ICANN. Kyari, NNPC will sustain aggressive gas development projects to achieve affordable, cleaner energy for Nigerians. All those other stories now. Governor Gombe ready to leverage new Electricity Act to boost economic growth. Nigeria seeks WHO's assistance for emergency deployment against diphtheria. Stakeholders lament Africa's 1% solar PV penetration seeks massive investment. You can also read more about this also in the business section. Subsidy remover. Senate passes motion stopping NLC nationwide strike. World Population Day, uplifting the voices of Nigerian women and girls. As Senate begins ministerial nominee screening today. Tinubu's inclusiveness of women in government. Ministerialists, Wike in a dilemma. Other stories in This Day, you find building resilient maternal health systems through private sector integration. All right, well, that covers a good number of the stories that you find from This Day. Moving on now to the Punch newspaper for today. Junta-led Burkina and Mali warn against military intervention in Niger. Fear grips resident over decomposing body. External reserves shared $167.2 million as Naira slumps further. 30% of CIT on foreign tankers will affect government revenue, says ship owners. You can also take on this one. Lasco Assurance pays 183 million Naira dividend. Subsidy pains. Labour insists on protest as Tinubu okays 500 billion Naira palliative and 3,000 buses. Okay, I'll take that again. Subsidy pains. Labour insists on protest as Tinubu okays 500 billion Naira palliative and 3,000 buses. And then you also would find of interest this very morning, Lagos slashes fares by 50%. Over 1 trillion Naira saved since subsidy removal, says Tinubu. You would also find federal government replies Falano insists NLC strike illegal. Senate screens 14 tackles ministerial nominees over age and tax. Keeping up with the Punch as well, you also find family protests as policemen detain and shave motorcyclist hair. That's a strange one. Residents groan as medical workers desert collapse at Ogun Health Center. Rivers Estate residents fear arrests over lady's corpse. Amotekun arrests 20 suspected kidnappers, 9 others in Ondo State. And then, surely enough, two suspects arrested for cable theft as well. Makes it into the round of the headlines as we have them for today in Punch. And surely enough, you'd also find 3 Kwara students back jail time for rape. Okay? Now, still reading through some other sections of Punch, you find Tinubu will not regret nominating me, says Wike. Ganduje's banners floored APC secretariat. And also, only God can remove Tinubu as Nigeria's president, APC group. Labour Party knocks Tinubu over ministerial list. Ex-governors, lawmakers will get easy Senate screening, says Ogunlewe. Moving on to the independent newspaper for today, and the stories there. Sanwo-Olu slashes transport fares by 50%, rolls out palliatives. Controversy trails return of Sanusi's portrait at Kano Government House. Forex revaluation throws manufacturing giants into huge loss. Despite federal government's assurances, Labour insists on strike and protest. We saved over 1 trillion naira from subsidy cut in 2 months, says Tinubu. Bow and go overshadow Senate ministerial screening. Niger government nominates Kolo as commissioner. Niger government nominate. Okay, I think that's pretty much of that there. Nimasa, total EP. Nigeria rescued the stress on some Tome, Presepe. Okay, what's this about? Oh, fishing vessel. Sustained sell-off extends losses on Nigerian exchange by 1.10%. Okay, and then as well, pretty much I think this is much of the thrust of the stories, yeah? Okay, well, there's this story about 60 days of Tinubunomics, okay? The highs and lows. All right, well, they're there. I think these are just a number of good stories. Some of the good stories there you would also find in the likes of The Independent. Moving on to Daily Trust. Issues around Sanusi and Coronation Hall. NLC not going back on Wednesday's protests. Labour faults Tinubu's broadcast, insists on protests. Issues around Sanusi and Coronation Hall. Niger coup, putting Nigeria's interests first. Oguboda residents groan under lingering fuel ban. Scramble for APC's vacant position intensifies as NEC meets tomorrow. Tinubu replaces Alake with Oshibado's ex-aide. Tinubu, I understand your hardship. I wish there were other ways. Salary increase on the way. Tinubu assures workers. 5 times Labour suspended planned nationwide strike over critical matters. Other stories, don't go on strike. Rep Adefarati begs NLC. Confusion dogs sale of Kano Disco. And then Wike, Kiari, 5 others take bow as Senate screens 14 nominees. NSF 2024. Abiodun inaugurates LOC, demands befitting world-class festival. All right, well, those are some of the stories here and there as you have them in the likes of Daily Trust. To round off now, let's take a look at stories from The Guardian. Sit at home. Imo residents ignore government's directive as businesses open in Enugu State. Skills gap, labor market top agenda at G20 summit. 41% of West Africans trafficked for sex as NAPTIP gets 624 convictions in 19 years. Herdsmen destroy farmland worth 100 million naira in Delta State. 2,455 cases of diphtheria, 83 deaths recorded in 14 months. Kano government removes Bayero, replaces Sanusi's portrait in Coronation Hall. Tinubu justifies reforms, unveils 500 billion naira package to ease pains. Southern Kaduna people lapun El Rufai over uncomplimentary comments. Vandalization, theft will render Second Niger Bridge unmotorable. Federal government, oil companies to drive cleaner hydrocarbon amid challenges. Abuja court stops Otiti's panel in Abia State. Nigeria not winning war against human trafficking. Informal sector workers urge federal government to revise social protection policy. Kaduna markets to get 1,000 POS machines for cashless transactions. All right, well, these are stories as you find them across the papers. They're there this very morning. I do thank you for listening. Do remember the stories have been published under the editorial guide of various publishers, and we on Nigeria Info have only informed you of the headlines as we have them for today.
This is Morning Crossfire.
All right, well, you can keep up with us by streaming on YouTube and on Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. Instagram and Twitter is also available for you. I'll be putting out tweets about the top stories as we have them from the headlines today on Twitter at this point in time at Nigeria Info ABJ. So you want to look out for that. It will be fine to take on your views via that very platform this very morning as well today. Okay. What else should I be saying? Oh, yes. By the way, as you call us on, I ask of you to please follow through with our editorial guide. Your calls need to be devoid of hateful speech, lies, fake news, and abuses. We ask you to be truthful and factual as you share with us on Nigeria Info. All right, we're going to have to make do of the WhatsApp line at this time until the engineer is here to fix this. I'm not seeing much of a connection via the regular phone lines, but I'm sure that will come to life eventually at some point in time. So we're going to make use of the WhatsApp line, but the WhatsApp number remains 080-999-30137, okay? That's the WhatsApp line. You can reach us on it this very morning while we wait for the phone lines to get back to the best of it. We'll get the phone lines fixed, I assure you, this very morning. All right, well, that's that on that. Okay, all right, let's take your calls this very morning as we follow through with your views on various issues.
Watch your number one talk station of the nation. Nigeria Info. Every day of the week, Mondays to Friday on YouTube to catch up with the Morning Crossfire.
All right, let's go to the phone lines and take your calls immediately this very morning. If you're ready, I am. Okay, many things to talk about, I would say. So we'll take turns to listen to each other, okay? Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Femi.
Yes, good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Nice to work.
Oh, it's going well. Thanks for asking.
Femi, my name is Emmanuel Ocharifu. I'm the freedom wheeler. I'm waiting for the seat of Talakas in Maramba.
All right, then.
Femi, we have said that Mr. President will not regret nominating him. We all know Wike has been a hard-working politician. Mr. President may not regret nominating him, but we want Mr. President to step up a bit, by looking up to new brains and new hands so that we expect a new result. And there's something that is actually usual in Nigerian politics when it comes to new administration. We've been experiencing that over the year, when president comes, it will take a lot of time before they start appointing their cabinet. Other places in the world where things are working well, at the acceptance speech, we even saw presidents of other working country who started mentioning some of their cabinet from their acceptance speech. Why must it be after 60 days and we are still talking about ministers in Nigeria? And we remember that exactly what happened during the former president Muhammadu Buhari. Something has to be done. We have to sit up. We cannot be doing the same thing and be expecting different results. Thank you.
Thank you for your viewpoint this very morning. Still taking more calls, okay? Who's joining in now? Let's find out from you, okay? All right. Here's another call, okay? Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, Femi.
Yes, good morning. Good to connect with you.
Good morning. My name is James, calling from Nasarawa.
All right, James. Good to talk to you.
So I want to thank you. Our president, because last our president, Juma still almost 6 months to bring ministers. So this man is trying. Our prayer make Nigeria to support our president, because our prayer say everything will do okay very soon. Another thing again, Femi, the issue of sister at home for Enugu State, everywhere is locked down for Enugu State. I don't know where from. Maybe somebody say Enugu State is open. Everywhere is locked down for southeast route. So I want to tell the federal government, make the release Nnamdi Kanu, make everything just okay for Nigeria. May God bless Nigeria and God bless Nigeria. God bless you, sir.
Amen. Thank you so much for your views this very morning. The main lines are back 0700 951 0000. Okay, so we can make use of that as well during the course of this show. It looks like it's back. Okay, well, let's hope the connection stays stable enough. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Femi.
Yes, good morning.
It's MD.
All right, Sunday. Good to have you on.
MD.
Oh, MD. All right. Ogami, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to appreciate you and our good station for giving us this time and the privilege to communicate. And I want to appreciate Mr. President, and I want to pray for him that God should give him wisdom and understanding, so that he can able to drive us to the permanent side. And I want to insist that please let protest or strike? Please, strike who we help.
Okay.
Strike, protest who we help. It will cause more harm and damage. Please, because as people are hungry now, this protest you had started. They cannot able to control this protest, because if people take this advantage and privilege to go out and pass, this thing break go fellow.
All right, let's leave it at that with you. Thanks for your view. Thank you. All right, from Facebook, Bola Razak says good morning from Lagos. Thanks, Bola. Emmanuel Kubis in Bauchi is watching from Asokoro. He also extends his greeting. Dr. Mrs. Olebara, where he says 1 trillion saved from subsidy. Of what use is that a child recovers from sickness and his child dies? Much money has accrued to the government, and majority of Nigerians are in excruciating pain, suffering and dying of hunger. Labour should not relent in its protest. Nigerians are looking up to them because strike is the only language government understands. Mwazu John Lazizi says Senate's ministerial screening, but the bad, the good, and the ugly bow and go. Falade Ayodeji, DG says, I think our government is not ready to ensure that the refineries work because there is nothing on workability of these refineries. Power and good transport system is the answer. Instead of giving money to anyone, let the banks support the businesses rather than the government. And on YouTube, Yakubu Aruna says, good morning, Femi D. Happy New Month indeed. I forgot it's the 1st of August. Gum Daniel says, good morning, Femi D. I was happy and excited for Mr. President's state's broadcast yesterday evening. It was indeed a passionate broadcast, and I wish Mr. President success. Mwanzu John Lasisi says, jail time for rapists in Kwara State, it should come with hard labor. Luda Diabiodu says, good morning, Femi D. I am so much impressed with the nominees, most especially Mr. Wike, and I know it will not disappoint Mr. President. And Nigeria is Nigerians in general. I wish my able president well. Gideon Akitade says, good morning, Doc. I'm not against Wike's ministerial nomination, but what transpired in NAS yesterday was indeed absurd. The gimmicks of take a bow and go, without answering any question is wrong. Okay, thanks for your view. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Dr. Femi.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. This is Aruna on the line.
All right, Aruna, let's talk.
Dr. Femi, Mr. President spoke very well yesterday. But where I still get issue with his speech. Sorry, I'm having a cough.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, sir.
Dr. Femi, we save almost 1 trillion naira from subsidy removal. There's nothing, you didn't mention any updates about our refineries. You understand? At least it was up to date that this is the level of when this is our plan by social time expecting our refinery to come to light. So telling us you give us palliative, you release a rice, you release seedlings and fertilizer. When you resolve that one, then how do you expect us to continue? At this refinery, let's have a functional refinery and move on with our lives. Stop giving us palliative. It's not our issues.
All right.
Thank you very much and good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for your viewpoint. Grateful to you. You've expressed it as such this very morning. All right, well, let's take on this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Family.
Good to have you on. Welcome.
Yes, sir. My name is Abila.
Abila, welcome.
Yes, sir. Mr. President has okayed 500 billion for palliative and purchase of 3,000 buses. Mr. Famidi, how many are we Nigerians that he is going for 3,000 buses? Which state is he going to benefit from those buses? Or is it that it's going to be in the FCT and Lagos, Port Harcourt? Or then what about the other states and the villages? So that's the point of concern. And Wike said Mr. President is not going to regret nominating him to be a minister. That's a betrayer talking, you know. So by his talk, you understand that, yes, there's a kind of agreement that they have reached. And that is why he has pushed and he has punched his ticket into the ministerial list. And that is why he's uttering that such statement. May God help us in this country.
All right. Well, thanks for your view, for sharing that with us. Okay. So keeping up with all the stories this very morning, responses now. Godwin James says, good morning from there, Mr. President. He did not say anything about fixing our refineries. As long as our refineries are not working, let me see. Okay. As long as our refineries are not working, as long as we keep importing fuel, the hardship will still continue, or better still, it should subsidize fuel. But nothing good will come out of this administration. I'm Godwin from Gwagwalada. Good morning, Femi D. You're looking good this very morning. Keep up the good work and best of the month to you and your entire family and staff. Love you all. Christian Bisca James. Okay, thank you so much, Christian. I'm so grateful to you. Clem says, good morning to you, Femi D. How are you today? Keep on the good work. Happy New Month. Happy New Month to you, Clems, as well. Amiru Abdusalami says, may Allah grant our leaders more wisdom and understanding. May God continue to bless Nigeria. Joel Naninat says, morning, Femi D. Good morning to you. Patrick Yaki says, good morning. I'm Patrick writing from Navy Valley. Also, Francis Namani is watching from Enugu State. He says, good morning as well. NLC should not relent at this point in time. The average Nigerians are suffering. May God help us. Okay. Akinola Shegun Abayomi, I also do see your message. Happy New Month to you as well. Gapsok Dachin says, in as much as Labour is late to calling for protest, it is not out of place to go ahead because the government is taking us for granted. Who will pay for the arrest of our sufferers? Even if they increase salary, shut down the country, let them increase salary at least. Interesting point of view. Stay with us right here now, Joy for 95.1. I'm looking at how I can bring you the president's speech in the next hour, and also Labour, what are they saying and how are things going? This is the show you don't want to miss. This is Morning Crossfire with Femi Live, and continue shortly.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities?
is Nigeria Info.